morning. This lecture video is going to go over the hormones that are involved with digestion. There are a variety of hormones that are involved in the digestive process. And the main digestive hormone is gastrin, which is going to be secreted in response to the presence of food. So whenever food is introduced into that body, then it's going to start or stimulate the release of gastrin. We are going to talk about 7 of the most common digestive organs, where they are found, where the cells found that release them or where they're secreted, and what their main action actually is. And again, these hormones that we're going to talk about, we're only going to look at exactly what they're doing towards digestion. If they have other hormones or they have other functions that are not digestive related, we aren't really going to cover that in this particular lecture video. But let's start with gastrin. Gastrin is a chemical that is released by the gastric antrum, so that very bottom layer of the stomach. And then it's also going to be released by the duodenum, G cells located in the duodenum. And what gastrin does is once food is brought into the digestive system and gastrin is released, it is going to basically hit parietal cells and stimulate those parietal cells to release gastric acid, which is HCl, hydrochloric acid, and also to release intrinsic factor. It's also going to stimulate the secretion of pepsinogen from the chief cells. Gastrin's job is to promote gastric and intestinal motility, so moving things through the GI tract, and also mucosal growth. It will help stimulate that mucosal lining, that mucosal membrane, in order to produce mucus. Cholecystokinin is the next one, CCK. It is going to be released by the small intestine, specifically eye cells that are found in the duodenum and the jejunum. And it's going to stimulate gallbladder contraction, so the release of bile then. And then it's also going to stimulate the release of pancreatic enzymes. So this is going to play a really important role with those accessory organs because it's going to allow or stimulate those organs to then release their secretions into the small intestines. It's also going to relax the sphincter of Oddi, which is also going to release, that's the sphincter that's going to hold those enzymes up in there and that bile. So by releasing that, it will then allow those to flow into the small intestines. And it plays a role in inducing satiety as well. So helping you feel full is another one of its functions. Next is secretin. It's going to be released again by your small intestines. Cells, S cells in the duodenum and the jejunum are going to release secretin. And its job is to stimulate the secretion of bicarbonate from the pancreas. And this process of releasing bicarbonate is also going to stop or slow down gastrin and gastric acid or HCl secretions. So it does 2 things to aid in digestion. Bicarbonate that's released or from the pancreas is important because it helps neutralize the stomach acid. Next, we have VIP, or vasoactive intestinal peptide. It's going to be released from enteric nerves within the digestive tract. And if you watch the nervous system regulation of digestion video, we talk a little bit more exactly how this works. But its job is to increase water and electrolyte secretion from the pancreas and the gut. And it plays an important role in relaxing smooth muscle via nitric oxide of those circular and longitudinal muscles to help propel food through. Next is GIP, gastric inhibitory polypeptide. This is also going to be released from the small intestine. So again, the duodenum and the jejunum, and the cells that specifically release these are called K cells. And its job is to reduce gastric acid secretion. So again, when we're talking about gastric acid, we're talking about hydrochloric acid, and also to reduce intestinal motility. So it's going to slow these processes down. It is also going to stimulate insulin release in order to help balance or regulate our blood sugar levels. Almost there, we go on to Motilin. This is going to be produced throughout the gut, specifically by Mo cells and also ECL cells, and its job is to increase small bowel motility through a process called MMC, and this happens during fasting, and then also to increase gastric emptying. All right, so we need to clean our system out, and this is going to be the hormone that's going to aid in doing that. And then last are stomatostatins. These are going to be released all along the digestive tract, so they'll be released by D cells that are found in the pancreas, small intestines, and stomach. Its job is to inhibit secretion and action of many of the hormones that we just talked about, again, playing a role in regulating digestive activities. So those are the 7 main hormones involved in digestion, where they're released from and what their result is or their target organ.